Hello, traveling ramblers, and welcome to our world of travel. AFC Vacations is very excited about offering our third program with the traveling ramblers. This time we'll be going to Georgia and South Carolina on our Southern Sojourn trip. This program goes in April of 2021 and it's 8 days in length, and it takes in Atlanta, Savannah, Jekyll Island, and Charleston. But first, what makes traveling so different with the Ramblers? I tell you, the first thing, it's all about fun. You're going to have a great group of people. Almost all of them will be from Whittier, and they really enjoy travel and being together. It's all about fun, and you'll have some great experiences over sightseeing and museums, as well as great meals. But I like to tell you that the Ramblers do it right. Some companies cut corners and are very cheap, but you get what you pay for in travel. Some companies, the only way you can take your spouse or roommate is to stow them away on the plane. Speaking of airlines, we use Delta Airlines nonstop to Atlanta. Other companies cut corners and you'd be on a plane like this. Actually get you a seat on the plane, which is a novel idea. Not all companies do that. And we put you up in beautiful properties, first-class hotels, 3 and 4 diamond, right in the center of town, not on a dive like this. We use deluxe motor coaches, 55 passenger. Some companies use camels. And again, it's all about fun, meeting new people and sharing great experiences. AFC, by the way, means affordable first class. And that's the type of programs we run, and the travelers love them. 37 years in business now, located down in San Diego, AFC Vacations will be your operator for this program. All of these tours have a lifelong learning component, which means you're not just a spectator, you're a participant in our. You'll be seeing things behind the scenes. You'll be doing special tours and programs that the regular public doesn't have. And you'll have great dining. But all these things involve lifelong learning. Southern Sojourn. These are the places you're going to visit. Again, an 8-day program, April 7th through 14, and you're going to learn about Gone with the Wind and an old period of American history before the Civil War. We're going in April, as I mentioned, springtime, so the flowers will be blooming beautifully. The azaleas, the rhododendrons, the dogwood, all will be blooming. You'll enjoy a unique style of food called low country dining, which includes a lot of seafood and chowders, as well as fried foods and so on. Very, very good, and we include that on many of our programs. If you enjoy Civil War history, you'll really enjoy this tour. We have the Battle of Atlanta, the cyclorama painting, the March to the Sea by Sherman, marching all the way from Atlanta to Savannah. All these things will be covered in the Civil War history, also known as the War between the States, and by the South it was called the War of Northern Aggression. I mentioned the incredible gardens we're going to be seeing, Middleton Plantation, Magnolia Gardens, all in bloom with all these beautiful flowers in springtime. A map is worth 1,000 words, so this will show you our itinerary. We fly into Atlanta. I mentioned it was a leisurely pace tour in that you only unpack 3 times. 3 nights Atlanta, 3 nights Savannah, and 1 night in Charleston. The days are not very long. We average leaving about 9, getting there about 4:30. Atlanta will be our destination. It's the 6th largest metropolitan area in the United States, about 6 million people. And you'll enjoy 3 nights right downtown. We're staying at the Hilton Garden Inn, which again is across from the Olympic Plaza called Centennial Place, and very close to the Georgia Aquarium and the World of Coke. It has a swimming pool on the top floor. Atlanta has so many things to see and to do. It is the capital of Georgia, so we'll visit the Capitol building. Centennial Plaza is where the 1996 Olympic Summer Games were held, and that's the plaza with all the fountains. And the baseball diamond there is the home of the Atlanta Braves. Ted Turner is from Atlanta. and he founded a cable network there called CNN, Cable News Network, and we'll tour through the studios there. In addition, Coca-Cola was first formulated and bottled in Atlanta, and we'll learn all about one of the most popular sodas or pop soft drinks in the world, Coca-Cola. Jimmy Carter was governor of Georgia for a term, and then he ran for president, and he made it as our 39th president. His presidential library is located right in Atlanta. We're going to have lunch here at the Ponce City Market, and this was an old warehouse for Sears and Roebuck's, and now it's all been turned into restaurants and shopping stalls and offices. It's a great use of urban renewal. Gone with the Wind, it was a very popular book written by Margaret Mitchell, and it was made into one of the greatest movies of all time in 1939, Gone with the Wind, starring Clark Gable as Rhett Butler and Vivien Leigh as Scarlett O'Hara. Now, the book was written by Margaret Mitchell right in the town of Atlanta. That home in the upper right was where she grew up and wrote the book. The book was translated into 23 languages, and she's buried on the site. That's her grave there. It says Marsh. That's her maiden name. Gone with the Wind premiered in Atlanta, and this is one of the theaters it showed in. It was the fabulous Fox Theater in Atlanta. And again, this movie was heralded as one of the top movies ever made. It was Best Picture for 1939. It was nominated for 13 Academy Awards, and it won 8, including the Best Female Actress category for Vivien Leigh. In the lower left, she's there with the producer, David O. Selznick. And we're going to go to a museum just outside of Atlanta in Jonesboro. It's called the Road to Tara Museum. And there you'll see costumes, pictures, autographed information, pieces of the script, all kinds of interesting stories about the making of the movie. And Tara, of course, was the home that Vivien Leigh, Scarlett O'Hara, lived. Also there in Atlanta is the cyclorama painting. This is a circular painting. It's where you go under a tunnel and come up in the middle of the painting, and you can see it in 360 degrees. It's the Battle of Atlanta in the Civil War. And we'll learn all about the Confederates and their Battle of Atlanta. Some of the food and places we'll go to are local places like Pitty Pat's Porch, which serves comfort food, including pecan pie and all kinds of great food in a very historic building. And again, the flowers will be tremendous on our trip. When we leave Atlanta after 3 nights, we'll head down to Macon, Georgia, which is a very historic town. And there, the Underground Railroad. Harriet Tubman, very famous for the Underground Railroad, and she helped slaves go from the south to the north where they could be free. We'll also see a lot of beautiful mansions down there. Again, the azaleas will be spectacular throughout our tour as we drive through the hills and mountains and around the town. William Tecumseh Sherman had his march to the sea, where he destroyed so much of the South on his drive down to its Savannah. And we'll learn all about that as we retrace his steps. When we arrive in Savannah, you'll notice that it's not on the ocean like Charleston is. It's basically on the river. It's about 12 miles upriver. All those buildings on the right used to be textile and cotton warehouses. Now all those buildings are shops, restaurants, and nightclubs right on the water. These are some of the great shots and places you'll see in Savannah. One of the very nice restaurants there is the Pink Palace, and they serve great low-country dining there. Savannah is made up of almost 20 squares or plazas. Each one will have landscaping and either a fountain or a statue in it. It's very picturesque, and it was laid out by General George Oglethorpe. Savannah was first a buffer between the colonies, the original colonies, and Spanish Florida. This is one of the plazas here with the great fountain. Again, you'll see more of the monuments, the beautiful oak trees, the old man's beard hanging from the trees, which is the Spanish moss. This is Telfair, And this was the home that Sherman lived in when he finally captured Savannah, and actually gave it to President Lincoln as a Christmas present on Christmas Eve. He delivered the town of Savannah. Some of the old buildings, many of them go back to colonial times. Believe it or not, it's not just Civil War history, but also colonial history on this tour. Over 300 years of American history will be followed on this trip. That is a statue of General George Oglethorpe, who laid out the town of Savannah, British general. And on the upper left, you'll see Tom Hanks as Forrest Gump. A lot of movies have been shot in Savannah, and one of them was Forrest Gump. And this is the whole scene where he's at the bus stop and he hands the woman a box of chocolates. And she says, "Life's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get." These are some of the squares again. They're so picturesque, so Southern, and they're carriage rides that go around town. This is the cotton exchange where they would weigh and sell the cotton, and a lot of money, millions of dollars, was exchanged every year there in Savannah. Another movie that was shot in Savannah is Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil. It was made into a movie. The book was written about a lot of the characters and people that lived in Savannah, and we'll trace some of those steps as well. This is another shot of many landscape gardens and mansions that we'll go by. And even more of the beautiful shots, the row houses, the azaleas blooming, the entrance to a beautiful park. In Savannah, we'll be staying for 3 nights at the Courtyard by Marriott in a beautiful downtown location, very close to all the action. We'll do a day trip just to the south of Savannah. We'll come into Georgia, what's called the Golden Isles of Georgia, and we'll be visiting St. Simon Island and Jekyll Island. St. Simon's Island has beautiful golf courses and lighthouses, as well as the Christ Church Chapel, which we'll visit. Again, some of the nice lighthouses over at Tybee Island. We're going to be visiting and having lunch at the Jekyll Island Club, which I think you'll really enjoy. It's one of the highlights of the trip. This was a hunting lodge originally with no roads. You had to come by boat. And the richest families in the United States would spend their summers here. Names like Rockefeller, Macy, Goodyear, Vanderbilt, Pulitzer. All of these families would come down and in January and spend about 5 months and leave in May. And this was a beautiful clubhouse that was built. And now it's a hotel, and we'll be having a meal there. Inside the grand dining room and the beautiful area there, we'll have some nice lunch. And you'll learn all about the people, the rich people that lived there. Some of these people built their own cottages. The lodge or club wasn't big enough, so they built their own, what they called cottages. They're 5,000 square feet without a kitchen. And many of these you will be able to tour through on our tram. You have to understand, these people were making $1 million a month when the average American was making $500 a year. And there was no income tax either. This was before the 1920s. Next, we'll go on to another town, which is just north of Savannah, and we'll be on our way to Charleston. This is called Beaufort. And Beaufort has been the location of over 40 motion pictures. It has all kinds of antebellum homes. Antebellum, by the way, simply means built before the Civil War, before 1861. And you'll see a lot of oak draped walkways like this. We have a carriage ride arranged for you, a narrated ride that takes you clippity-clop all around the town of Beaufort and in to see all the beautiful mansions. And again, I think you'll really enjoy our stop in Beaufort, South Carolina. Next, we head up to Charleston. And Charleston has many mansions around it. This is called Drayton Hall, which also has slave quarters. And the beautiful flowers as well. Again, you'll see all the azaleas. Many of these bushes are over 100 years old. Charleston itself has a historic district where motor coaches are not allowed. We'll be dropping off and walking through some of these areas so you can see things up close. And those two church towers were actually there during the Civil War. The white one is called St. Michael's, and it actually has a cannonball embedded in the side that didn't explode. This is the tip of Charleston. It's called Battery Park, where you see all the trees. And there were many cannons put there that were used to bombard Fort Sumter, the first shots of the Civil War. This is all the historic district. Many of the slaves that came to work on the plantations of Charleston were from Barbados, and they brought with them many things, including their beautiful colored buildings. This is called Rainbow Row. Also, they do weave these incredible baskets, which you can buy, and you'll see those all around town. Here's a Victorian home that's located in Charleston. We'll also see not only mansions, parks, and gardens, but also visit the West Point of the South. It's called the Citadel, pictured there in the upper left. It's the military academy for the South. And we'll go on and see the cadets practicing and drilling and so on. We'll be visiting a beautiful mansion there. This one's called the Calhoun Mansion, and the owner was actually the person that was used as the typecast for Rhett Butler in Gone with the Wind. This is the Edmonston Alston House, beautiful coral pink color, another great mansion with the palmetto pines or palms right in front. Fort Sumter is located in the harbor of Charleston. It used to be 3 stories high. It was pounded by the Confederate guns, and just 1 story is left now. It's a National Historic Site run by our national parks, and you take a boat ride out there. We're going to visit 2 gardens, and this one's called Middleton Plantation. It goes back to 1714. It took over 10 years to sculpt this land into these lakes and ponds and gardens and terraces. This was an old rice and indigo plantation, and now it's a beautiful visit. And we'll be able to see the formal gardens there. We'll tour through one of the houses. And again, you'll see all kinds of great flowers, including pink dogwood pictured above. Here's another great shot of the gardens at Middleton. Then we'll go just down the road to another plantation called Magnolia Plantation, and we'll take a tram ride through the cypress swamps, and you'll be able to see birds and hopefully some alligator and snakes and so on. It's a really pretty charm spot, Magnolia Gardens. Here's another great shot with the landscaping in the Blackwater Swamp. In Charleston, we'll spend one night at the Courtyard by Marriott, again in a great location, historic building, and you'll enjoy that very much. We'll have our farewell dinner at one of Charleston's nicest restaurants, and we'll have a great menu, and then we'll fly home from there. I love that shot. Some exciting stuff's going to happen. With the traveling Ramblers and AFC Vacations, the extras aren't extra, they're included. The price we give you includes about 90% of what you'd need to pay for a vacation. I hope you like the idea. We pick you up at home in Whittier and take you to the LAX airport. That's all included. These are chauffeur-driven cars or vans, Mercedes Sprinter vans, with a professional driver, and they will bring you home at the end of the tour as well. The gratuity is always included, and they pick you up right from your door. You wait inside your house. Airfare is always included on our trips, and we'll be using Delta Airlines. You'll be flying nonstop into Atlanta's airport, Hartsfield-Jackson Airport, which is one of the busiest in the world. And we'll be flying home on Delta, a connection from Charleston. That's Dave Robertson. He's been 17 years with AFC, and he is in charge of our air department. So he'll be getting your boarding passes, your seat assignments, any upgrades you want to go from economy to economy plus or business class. And again, it's also important to note that Dave can arrange for your friends from any other city in the United States to join us on this program. So if you have a sister in Des Moines, Iowa, Dave will arrange the air. Of course, it'll be less than LAX, so your relative will get a credit. Also, they'll get a credit from home pickup because we don't have home pickup in a lot of those cities. So it's a great bargain to have a friend join you, and then Dave can arrange all of that. We stay in only 3- and 4-star hotels. Breakfast is included each day. Great rooms, beautiful rooms, usually 2 queen beds or 2 double beds. A king bed, if you'd like it, please let us know on your reservation form. And breakfast is included on this program. It's off the menu, and you eat in the restaurant each morning of the hotel. We include either lunch or dinner. We average 2 meals a day on our programs. And you never have to schlep your luggage like these people. We always have your luggage at the airport. We even pay your airline fee. That's included to take your bag and check it on the airplane. At the hotel, the baggage is handled in and out of the room as well. And this is not the type of motor coach you're going to get. In 1954, the year that I was born, this was the best that it got. I'm really happy to say that the motor coaches have improved immensely. This is a beautiful 55-passenger coach, 45 feet in length, special shock absorbers and air suspension ride. Inside, it looks more like an airplane with a washroom, reclining seats, footrests, overhead luggage racks, big picture windows. It's nice to have that washroom, by the way, because you wouldn't want to walk that far if you had to go to the bathroom. And of course, one of the highlights of the tour will be traveling with your great tour manager, Denise Wright. And Denise has traveled with the Traveling Ramblers so many times. She does a great job. We use a lot of local guides as well. So Denise will be there for the whole tour, but we do have some step-on guides that will do city tours in Atlanta and Savannah and so on. So as a summary, to update you on what's included, it's an 8-day program. We've got the home pickup included to and from the airport. The airfare is included, round trip Los Angeles. 12 meals, folks. So you've got 7 breakfasts, 3 lunches, and 2 dinners, about average of 2 a day. First-class hotels, you're only unpacking 3 times. Motor coach, tour manager, admissions, sightseeing, baggage handling, with the airline bag fee. That's a $60 deal right there. And then even the gratuities for the tour manager, the driver, and your step-on guide. So it's a really inclusive package. And here again are the dates, April 7th through 14th. It's an 8-day program. Your rates are $29.99 per person double and $37.29 for a single room, a king bed. And it's a small deposit of $200 at the time of booking with your reservation form, and final payment is due January 22nd. If you'd like to have insurance, you can buy that at the time of booking or at final payment, and this will take care of anything that you would have for your cancellations. There is a provision for cancel for any reason, doesn't have to be medical, and you get 75% of your money back, which is a good deal if you cancel for that's not a medical reason. It's a lot of fun traveling. How do you bring everybody together and make them a lot of fun and have great time? You do it by having a very easy process to book and a great tour manager, and that's Denise Wright. There's a reservation form you'll find attached to this email, and you fill this out and sign the bottom and let us know about the deposit. And you can do all this information with Becky. If you have any questions, I would call our specialist at AFC. Her name is Claudia, and her phone number is included in this email, or you can call Denise as well on her cell phone, and they can answer questions. But the booking should go through Becky. Again, it's all about fun. Travel has to be fun, and AFC and the Traveling Ramblers certainly make it so. Travel is also priceless. The experiences you'll have with newfound friends are priceless. I love this quote. Travel provides the best possible souvenir, a broader perspective on life. Here's the happy trails and travels in 2021, the Traveling Ramblers and AFC. Come join us on this wonderful trip. Join Bob and Becky. I think you'll have a wonderful time. And thanks so much for tuning in.